Bulunaka Fiji, and welcome to Speak Your Mind. And this week, we have on the show, we'll be featuring a little bit about the authority or the organization involved with, collecting our taxes and making sure that we abide by customs. And that's the Fiji Revenue Customs Authority, who are having an open day this Saturday. But before that, we also are going to feature a little bit of the plight of a young artist based in Nandi and has been taken on by a group of artists around the country. And we'll chat a little bit with their representative here with me, Mr. Lambert Ho. Welcome on the show.
Bulunaka. Thank you, Pedeli.
Well, obviously, no stranger on the show, too, Mr. Ho. And now this is the plight of Mr.
Meli Ladpeter.
Ladpeter.
Yes.
Now, I was trying to get around the name Ladpeter.
Yeah. Quite a.
It's
not a common name, really.
not a common name.
Yeah.
Not a common name.
Yeah.
But sadly, this sad situation. I'll let you, Lambert, explain a little bit about the situation with Mr. Ladpeter and his family.
Thank you. Well, Meli Ladpeter right now is on his hospital bed at the Nandi Hospital. Meli suffers from bronchitis, which is a problem to do with his lungs. He has been sick for quite a while, diagnosed, I think, late last year, but has been confined to his bed for the past month and a half or two. Meli has a family of 8. His wife is a stay-at-home mom. He has 8 children. Meli is a sole breadwinner, and he needs air to breathe, basically oxygen.
Now
What we take for granted
Yeah.
is very difficult for him right now. Breathing. So he needs oxygen to basically live. So in the confines of that hospital bed, he needs to be looked after well by his doctors. Make sure that the oxygen is all there for his sake. He's all been wired up for oxygen. And he's quite weak at the moment. It is really difficult for him to just breathe. Yeah.
No, it's quite difficult to wrap your mind around this, something that we, like you said, we take for granted. And he's having difficulty with this, so with breathing. Some may ask, okay, is it an operable procedure that he can undertake? Sadly, the answer is no.
No. Yeah.
Yes. Lungs, unfortunately, is just one of those organs that
You cannot operate on. You just
we
have to
can't
be
substitute
You have
either.
to be looked after very well. He can live for a very long time. That's not a problem. It's just that he needs to be in a clean space with oxygen. If he needs to go out of that space, he has his medication. If he wants to go and spend some time with his family, it's great, but he also needs oxygen tanks to take with him. Now he's got a carer in his brother who's been with him 24 hours, who basically sleeps on the hospital bed next to him. Waisake is just an amazing person being there with his brother. But in order for Meli to go and see his family, who live in Nasoso, he needs to take oxygen tanks with him.
No. He's got children who still go to school,
Yes.
and the eldest being still a teenager, attending secondary school, and 8 of these children, including and also his wife. And there have been some response from friends and,
Yes.
and family with the support, but sadly, this is a costly affair.
It is.
And to keep him also, if we were to remove him from the hospital, it'd be a very expensive affair.
Exactly. Well, I mean, Nasoso and where the family live and where the hospital is quite a distance. Now, for the family to travel there, visiting hours during the day is from 1 to 2 in the afternoon. His kids are in school. Now, for that to happen in the evening, they're back at home in the evening, and I think visiting hours is between 6 and 7 or 7 and 8. So the kids are at home doing their homework. So there's no time really to see their dad. So it's been quite difficult, and it's a costly affair, and he's not being able to work to be able to put bread on the table, food on the table, basically, for his family. So we've been rallying around him, trying to sort this out. We've visited him with some really good friends in the likes of Maria Rova. Maria is an artist based in Nandi, and Tessa Miller Campbell, who comes from Singatoka. We have a few friends who've rallied around just buying groceries and stuff just to take to the family. So that's been great. I visited last week, which was lovely. I visited him as well in the hospital and his family in Nasoso. It was quite heartbreaking for me to see him in that state because Meli's basically lost half his body weight. For someone who doesn't smoke, who doesn't drink, this is quite sad.
Sad.
Yeah,
And it's just all very shocking too.
it is. It
Especially when
is.
you think of, people immediately think that it's the consequences of
Yeah,
your
some people thought
culture.
that, but I
Yeah,
said no. It's
it's
nothing
not.
from him smoking or drinking or any of that sort of stuff. It's just basically a disease that he's dealt
The-
with, sadly enough. And the thing is, having to prolong his life by being in hospital. Yeah.
Now, Millie Ladpeter is a very talented artist as well. And for those of you viewing on FBC TV, we are looking at some of his artwork. And also, his involvement in art and the development of art in the country, it's been phenomenal with his contribution also. He started off as a
An
red wave
artist with the
artist.
Red Wave program collective at USP, Oceania Center. That was in the early 1990s. Some artists still remain there to this day. Some have moved on to make careers of themselves in the greater field, whether here around the region or overseas, internationally. So yeah, he's one of those artists who's been able to move from one genre to the other, or to be able to move forward in terms of design work for garment factories or the likes. Yeah.
Now, it's funny because when we first spoke of Melly, I looked at the designs that we also looking at, and it looked kind of familiar. And then you mentioned that Melly has also been, well, is employed by the
Isnagandas
S.
group of
Nagandas.
companies.
Yes,
Yes.
and his artwork is featured in many of the shirts
Yeah.
and fabric that they also put out.
Yeah.
And
Melly first worked at Jack's as a graphic designer, a brilliant graphic designer, artist, and then he moved to S. Nagandas after that. So he basically designs all the print fabric. Now, those fabrics have been made into garments, whether it's board shorts or shirts or vests or whatever. There is a tag on some of the clothes with his name on it, Melly Ladpita. So his clothes have been bought by tourists taken all over the world, But here's a little humble Fijian guy who's working from his office in S. Nagandas in the days and churning out design after design, now confined to his bed. But yeah, a brilliant graphic artist. And in the past, when we've had art on the island, he's been able to just give us an amazing poster designs and stuff, at a whim's notice, just so that we'd have something put up, advertising what we're doing in the West here in terms of art. Yeah.
that's really great. And the thing is, this disease does not take away his ability to also paint, and he can continue to do so. Now, we'll talk a little bit more after this short break about how everyone can also assist with the plight of Melly Ladpeter right here on Gold FM. Speak Your Mind. Welcome back on to Gold FM Speak Your Mind, and we are talking about the plight of a young artist, with work that you may not have heard his name, Melly Ladpeter, but you may be familiar with his work. And we talked a little bit about what he had contributed in terms of garments that are being, sold through the line of clothes, sold at Esnagandas and also with Jack's Handicraft. Now, Melly Ladpeter with a condition called bronchitis. I may be pronouncing it wrong, but bronchitis. And with me is Mr. Lambert Ho, part of a group of artists, Fiji artists, that are trying to assist and provide for some of his needs. Now, Mr. Ladpeter has been hospitalized for how long now?
2 months.
2 months.
Yeah. And so we're trying to get him to do some stuff on his hospital bed, to get him back into the fact that he still wants to paint. So we've taken him some supplies and some canvas, and he's been trying to paint, but it's quite tiring. I think the whole breathing process has affected his whole ability to be able to raise his hand to be able to paint, really.
You did mention that he's lost
It's
half of his body weight too.
exactly. So all that energy is
Mm.
really gone. But I know we're positive, and we're looking forward to the fact that he will try and finish a piece or two pieces
Uh-huh.
for the exhibition on the 24th.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, you mentioned the 24th of April, the exhibition Breathe.
Yes.
Now, this is being organized by your group of
Yeah.
friends and supporters and artists. Tell us a little bit about what has been the response been like from the artists.
I'm on Taviuni at the moment, and I got in a couple of weeks ago with the help. I mean, Maria Rova
Uh-huh.
from Singapore Studios and Tessa Miller, who owns the Mana Art Gallery in Korotongo.
Uh-huh.
They called me up to ask for help in getting this thing off the ground. We have a couple other friends in Nandi. Basically, there's 5 of us running around trying to sort this whole thing out. And the other friends in Suva who've pitched in as well. But we came up with the word breathe as the theme for the art exhibition. We have about 34 artists who've rallied around us and to put art towards this art exhibition. Now, we're having an art exhibition at the Sofitel Resort and Spa from the 24th to the 28th of this month. The 24th is the opening night, and tickets are being sold at $30 each. So you get a drink on arrival, there's finger food available, an amazing art show exhibition with works from up to 34 artists. I'm organizing a silent auction of some prints that I have from the 1900s.
You have prints from the 1900s?
From the year 1900, actually. So it's 115-year-old prints, and hopefully we can raise a lot of money from that towards Meli's plight and for his family as well. Posters are out now. The tickets are out. We've got raffle tickets out. We've got a permit from the district officer in Nandi to sell tickets at $5 a ticket. We've got amazing prizes worth over $7,000. And these prizes that have come from all our good friends in the hotel industry from along the Coral Coast and in Nandi as well. We've had amazing friends like you guys who've been able to put this out to the media. The print media, everyone's been supportive of this. It's going to be an amazing show on the 24th.
Now, you mentioned the artists. Now, how many pieces did you say that the artists are going to be, hopefully presenting?
Hopefully, each artist will bring to the table 4 to 6 pieces each. They've now got 10 days to be able to finish their artwork. Hopefully we're getting, at least 100 pieces from 30 artists.
It's quite the undertaking, especially with also a renewed theme. Some of the work that have already been done, but it'd be very, very, this is from artists that are from Fiji and local artists who are presenting their work and trying to raise money also for a fellow artist who unfortunately has succumbed to this disease, but does not take away the fact that he perhaps can still do some. And he will be trying to present
exactly.
something.
And his children have been influenced by this this whole issue. His oldest son, Pedro, is working on a painting to be able to sell on that day.
Oh, that's good.
And I spoke to Pedro, and he's at AD College in Nandi, and he's really heartbroken to see his dad like this. But yeah, his contribution to this would be an amazing boost to the whole project. So his big influence is his dad. You can see the style of work is similar to his dad. His dad is his best teacher, so there you go. So
while we're also looking at some of the images of Meli Ladpeter's family, and perhaps also a glimpse of Pedro himself, the artist. But it's great. And what is the hope that of the group of artists? Where does the money will go, of course, to cover some of the overhead? And what else are you hoping to do?
Thank you, Pedeli. When we approached the artists with guidelines towards the art exhibition, they were all in for it because Meli's been one of the artists from the beginning. Very genuine, very humble, just the most likable person. And a strong Christian at that. So what we're basically doing is each artist will bring to the table a piece or a couple of pieces. One piece will be for sale, and the cost of that painting the sale of that painting will go directly to Millie. The rest of the art that you want to sell, 80% is yours and 20% goes to the overheads to the committee that's been running around trying to sort all of this out. But we're hoping that if artists bring to the table 6 pieces, hopefully they will put 2 up for sale that will go directly towards Mele and his family. So, the ticket sales at $30 a ticket on the preview night on the 24th of April from 6 o'clock in the evening, that goes directly to Mele and his family. The raffle ticket sales will be going directly to his family. So, and friends have contributed financially towards the project. So that's going to go directly to the bank account that we've been trying to put together for Mele and his family. So all in all, we've just had an amazing boost of friends and sponsorships from across the board towards this project.
With the situation with Mr. Ladrita in the hospital, you also mentioned that you've taken some of the art supplies, and it does take away because of his condition. His energy is quite used up very fast. But he could work. He also is a talented, very good graphic designer, and work also with the laptop. Perhaps that is something a little bit easier to work with.
I suppose so, but when artists using their talent and their brain to be, so I think it ties the brain as well. I mean, I get tired after painting a picture. It uses up all your energy, so it's a mental thing, it's a physical thing. But yeah, I mean, with his drive, you can tell he's trying to finish. He's basically working on 3 pieces. So yeah, hopefully that'll get done, and at least one of it to be able to hang up. He's going to be guest on the night, on the 24th. So, we're hoping that the Fiji Red Cross or the hospital will be able to get us a wheelchair, and somebody's going to donate some money because one of those oxygen tanks to go out of the hospital is about $300. So that's
very costly.
Very costly. So that needs to accompany him with his caretaker to the venue on that night, and then back either to the hospital or home. Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's the 24th, the exhibition, the preview.
Yeah, and then it opens to the general public from the 25th to the 28th. Yeah, so we're targeting all those amazing homeowners on Denarau and Nandi, Suva as well, tourists that are going through Sofitel and are on Denarau Island to be able to come there on the 25th to the 28th, or buy a ticket on opening night, which is $30. And there are lots of raffle tickets that are circulating at the moment. We've got this on Facebook as well, and posters will be out. So if you see me putting posters on your walls in Suva, please be okay with that. It's for a worthy cause for our friend Meli and his family. Yeah.
Where are the tickets available?
The tickets are available through Maria Rova, Tessa Miller Campbell at Sofitel reception, Bulacino, and I think Cardo's. But I should be able to give you more names of where you'll be able to pick this up from.
All right. On that note, thank you again for coming, Mr. Lambert Ho.
Thank you, Pedeli, for having me on the show.
We're always grateful to have you. And don't forget that you can still get your hands on these tickets. And please, it's for a worthy cause. Speak Your Mind will be right back. We're back on Gold FM's Speak Your Mind, and we did say that we would talk a little about the Fiji Customs Revenue Authority. Why? Because the open day is this Saturday, and I'm grateful to be joined by the Chief Assessor from FERCA, Mr. Epilinaua. Welcome to the show.
Mr. Pedeli, to you out there.
All right, so this is the first time the Fiji Revenue Customs Authority are having an open day. And it's going to be this Saturday at Sukuna Park. Now, tell us, is there a need? Is there a great need? Does the authority think of a great need for this?
Thank you, Pedel. I think that's a very important question. nobody wants to pay taxes. And so we try and inculcate this, build it in people's mind that taxes is important for our nation. It's the roads, the infrastructure, the bridges, the hospitals. Right now we're giving free meals to our children, free school fees for our children, and other public amenities that we do to assist our beloved nation of Fiji. And we need assistance of the public through their taxes. This year we intend to collect 2.4 billion. That's our target for this year, 2015, 2.4 billion. And it's a mammoth task. And this is why we are going public. We're asking people, because we believe that there are some that are still not complying with our tax laws. And so whilst there are also people that are afraid to come to our office. Every time they think of tax, they hide. They fear coming to us. Some even brand us as devils. And so, we want to take it out to the people. We want to showcase to the people the services that we have. And for them to come in and tell us, express themselves to us, whatever issues that they have. On Saturday, we'll be having the open day where we'll have services of taxes. You can have the joint card ID done. You will register and we will issue the card on the same day. This is at Skuna Park on the 18th. And we'll start from 9 a.m. till 3 p.m. And we'll also have issues on customs, if you have any issues on duties that you want to import, tariff, questions on motor vehicle, what type that you want to import, but these are the type of questions that's coming in. And this would be a good opportunity time for people out there to come in and ask questions. We've also got the careers. We'll have our careers HR people there, where we'll have students coming in, if you are there to work with FRCA, what sort of qualifications they will need. Now, from our stakeholder side, we've also invited exhibitors. We've handpicked about 9, and these are the banks, those that we closely contact with. And LTA, we're also including the BDM, Birth, Death, and Marriage Registrar, so they'll be in. They'll also be issuing birth certificates there and then. We've also included TLTB and also LTA. So if you have any issues with your LTA, you can come and clear it there. If you have issues with your tax compliance, you can come down and seek clarification. We will have a separate booth even for children to come in and have their say. We also have a hall of evasion. It's you come through the history where we were and the taxes that we're collecting, what's it been made, what's the use that we've put it to, and also those that don't collect taxes. There's this black tent that the children can go through and see what will happen. And then also we having free rides for kids in there. It'll be a fun day. It's meant to be a fun day. It's a family day. So the public are most welcome to come in and bring their family along. And there'll be a lot of fun, a lot of giveaways, a lot of prizes. We're giving away phones and other merchandise that'll be given away. Not only by us, but also by the other exhibitors out there.
You mentioned that, well, it's funny that you say, you asked you made the statement right from the beginning, no one likes to pay taxes. Now, and something that has also taken on the public that is quite new, the joint card.
Yes.
And we also get questions regarding the joint card because we are we also give out the information. But once again, at the Sukuna Park this Saturday, now, what is it that they need to bring for those viewing who may not know what kind of details that they need to bring with them?
Okay. For a joint card, you don't need to be a member of the FNPF. Because it's a card for FNPF as well as the Fiji Revenue and Customs Authority. Now, for the joint card, you don't need to be a member. Or if you want to be a member, you can. But we will give out the cards to anybody who wants to register for a TIN number. Previously, we used to issue a TIN letter.
Right.
That we're no longer issuing that to individuals. We're issuing TIN letters now just to companies, other private bodies. But as an individual, you will need a card that serves as identification. You'll have your photo as well as your TIN number. Now, to get one, what you will be required to do is get a birth certificate, an original, the the latest A4. It has to be in the A4 size, not the old BCs that used to be handed out.
Right.
And also a copy of your photo. If you have other ID cards, maybe a license, motor vehicle license, or a voter registration card. Otherwise, if you get a photo ID, a passport size photo ID, and somebody to verify at the back that it is you, and then you complete the form. There's a form that you will need to complete with the assistance of our staff there, and that is all. And then you will take it. We will upload it on our system, and then we'll print your card.
All right. Well, that makes it really simple. And you also mentioned that it's supposed to be fun.
Yes.
And to take away what you say, the association made with payment of taxes and regulating. So bringing it to the other services that are available at the headquarters or at various other offices of FRCA around the country.
Yes.
Will they be available on this Saturday at the Schooner Park?
Most definitely, Pedeli. We will have our revenue collection. People come in for tax clearance. There are issues on tax clearance, on the withholding taxes that we withhold. For example, if you go to the banks, for any deposit that you have at the bank will automatically deduct 20% on any deposit that you have. Now, there have been given, there's some exemptions given last year, whereby if your salary or your total earnings is less than 16,000, then you will be exempted from paying this. So, if your total income is below 16,000, it is a good time for you to come down on Saturday to Schooner Park, and we will issue with a certificate of exemption. When then you can take it to the bank will not deduct the interest or tax on any interest earned from your deposits. And we also have compliance. Right now, for example, if you go to Housing Authority, Housing Authority for a loan, they will require you to get in a compliance certificate, meaning that your tax status with us is up to date. And so we can also do that we will also be doing that on Saturday.
Right.
So, yeah.
We'll chat a little bit more about this, but we'll take a short break right here on Gold FM. Speak Your Mind. Welcome back to Gold FM Speak Your Mind, and we continue our discussion with the Chief Assessor from FRCA, Mr. Ep164. The FRCA having an open day this Saturday and putting a little bit of demystification of the processes of collection of taxes and also dealing with customs. Now, just before the break, we spoke a little bit about, you touched on those who have working with Housing Authority, the authority working with Housing Authority, and also sometimes the demand for the letter of compliance from the Housing Authority. Now, if we could just clarify a little bit about, you did say that you would be issuing these letters. Now, what is it that a homeowner or those who wish to get these letters need to bring to the park?
Thank you, Pedeli. For tax compliance certificate, you don't need to bring anything, but there's a form there that you'll need to fill. What we will need that your tax status on our system is up to date. That means you've paid all your taxes on time, all your returns have been lodged on time. That is it. And based on that, if we see that your records are up to date, we will issue with the compliance certificate. However, we have had cases where people have not been up to date with their returns. They have not lodged any returns at all. We've given them the compliance certificate with understanding that they will lodge their return within 3 months. Okay, so we strike that deal. We will try and assist you, but at the same time, you have to do your part.
Okay.
So the bottom line is this: we see that the government have lowered tax rates from for employees, for example, from 31% to 20%, and even the respective thresholds within that has also been the tax rates have been lowered as well. Now, that being said, with the government trying to assist us individuals, we also need to play a part. We're trying to minimize people at the lower level paying taxes. And so if your earning is more than 16,000 in a year, then you are required by law to pay tax. It's only fair, you know. Why should Peter be paying the tax and you not paying your tax? Yeah. If you have to lodge your returns, and if you are required to pay tax, please pay your taxes. Now with the tax rates being lowered, and a lot of incentives being given out to the business community, the penalties have been made more harsh, more severe. We charge now penalties of say 20% if you are late on your lodgements, 25% if you are late on your payments. So that's a total of 25%. And for every month of default, we charge you an additional 5%. And so that it goes on. And if it's a trust fund, for example, if it's a VAT or if it's PUYE, that's more severe. The penalty is more severe. We can even go and garnish your bank account, and we can even close your business. If you want to go overseas, we can hold you back at the airport. We place a DPO, departure prohibition order, and last we will take you to court. Okay, so these are the type of things that we want to educate our general public with. Because taxes is important for our nation. We see the roads, the bridges, the schools, and the things that we are giving to the general community. So we also need to play our part. We've increased the social welfare amount that has been given to each individual. So it's only fair that should you pay your tax, please come forward and pay your tax. Yeah. I think the general notion that we're trying to give to the public, that we be compliant in our tax compliant as Fiji citizens, as Fijians.
Now, you also mentioned of those who are low-income earners and demystifying some of the processes also involved. Now, some of these are farmers in rural areas. Now, they can also come to the park, and of course, with the clarifications that they may need. Now, some of which, some may just think, they haven't paid any tax whatsoever, and they're worried.
That's right.
And may deter them from perhaps trying to get a loan or perhaps trying to get housing loan as housing authority. So what kind of assistance can you give them?
Exactly. Thank you, Pedeli. I think that's a very fair comment that you've said. Now, with farmers, the government has placed, they've increased the threshold to 500,000. If a farmer is earning less than 500,000, then they will not be paying any income tax, no tax at all. But you will still be required to lodge your returns. Right. Because without the returns, then you won't be able to get the compliance certificate. We will need to see the returns so as to gauge the type of work that you do. Because, for example, we have had people writing in the returns, they're unemployed. Right. However, when we go to LTA, when we do LTA checks, we see registered under the name they have 5 cars, 6 cars. And so this is why we are saying, you need to come forth now, because otherwise there's a thing that we normally say, if you hide, we will seek.
You also check the bank accounts.
We do check the bank accounts. And that is why we've made it mandatory for anybody that wants to open a bank account. You will need a TIN number, be it an infant or a school child. On Saturday, we've also included all the banks to be at the park. So they'll be competing amongst themselves to try and get as many customers as they want. But and they'll be also telling on the type of services that they'll be providing. But it's critical to note that for any person to open a bank account, you will need a TIN number. Because we've also found out that there are a lot of people who have bank accounts, infants, bank account, but we don't know the source of the income.
Well, on that note, we'll take another short break here on Gold FM Speak Your Mind. We'll be right back with our final segment. And also, with more questions, you can feel free to call us in studio 3220906 and 3220907, or send us a text on 825 or an email at goldfm@bce.com.fj. Welcome back to Gold FM Speak Your Mind, and we continue our discussion with one of the most important organizations that heavily also involved in many of our working lives, the Fiji Revenue and Customs Authority, who are having an open day this Saturday at Sukuna Park in Suva. And many of your questions can also be answered at the park or right here on Speak Your Mind. Now, feel free to also call us up, like I said, the numbers earlier. And joining us, still continuing the discussion, Mr. Epeli Naua, the Chief Assessor from FRCA. Now, we also have got, well, taxation with those small entrepreneurial businesses to big businesses. We mentioned a little bit about the penalties. Now, what are the most frequently asked questions that you get from small business, those who want to start small businesses in terms of their taxation issues?
Yeah. For small businesses, the issue with them is the record keeping. The record keeping, they don't keep their records properly. And secondly, come end of the year to lodge their returns, they don't know how to fill a financial report, the profit and loss, balance sheet, and all this.
You know, that's quite often that you find.
Yes. And so what we've done on our website, we've made it easier for them. We've made templates for this type of financials. These are for the small and medium-sized businesses, rental, for taxi business, all the small business, dairy shop. You know, we've put in there the basic ingredients in the financial, so the sales, the purchases. But the thing to be mindful of is we keep telling them, you have to keep your records properly, because without the records you cannot do the financials. And so it's very important. By law, under the FRC Act, you have to maintain your books in English, and for 7 years. Okay, for 7 years you have to maintain your records. It has to be in English. And for example, if you are registered for a VAT purpose, then you will need to have a tax invoice, and it has to be a proper tax invoice, and it should read your tax number, and it should be written tax invoice, and it should clearly state the VAT that you're charging. So these are all important bits that need to be on the invoice. One thing that we've seen the people claiming on invoices that are being given by a non-VAT registered person. So to us, that's that's fraud. And so we need to come back. The thing is, we know people are not aware, fully not aware. So we need to want to come back and tell the people, please, you can only claim from those that are registered for VAT purpose. You cannot just claim VAT anyhow. So it's very important that record keeping, like I was saying, is very important, and you need to know how to keep your records and the requirements for keeping the records.
What happens to those that don't have the complete set of 7 years of records and who wish to continue with the business but are now sitting there and not quite too sure where to move forward to?
Okay, we can assist them. That is why we are having this open day. We will assist you to the best of our ability. We can compare with other business type of business that operate the same type of business that you, and then from there we can gauge, how much you can make. But importantly, you have to have tax invoices. We have our auditors, we have our internal insurance auditors who also check on our work. And so for us, first of all, you have to have that paperwork. And if you don't, then we can go back and check from where did you buy. Then we can get from the third party. And so try and build up, reconstruct whatever you lost, so that we will assist. We will try and assist you as best as we can, okay, to the best of our ability, provided documents are there. Yes.
Now, speaking of businesses, many of the businesses, the taxi businesses,
Yes.
family owned, and sometimes, a common practice is the transferring of licenses and these businesses.
Yes.
Now, we often get caught up in the tax processes about this, and sometimes hinders their businesses.
Yes.
Could you is there some information that you can just give to those
Yes.
who may?
Thank you, Pedro. Yes, right now we have a lot of calls, issues being raised with regards to taxis, motor vehicles being transferred. And for any transfers that's happening now at LTA, you will be required to pay an additional 3% on the cost of the vehicle that you're buying. Okay, so whatever cost that you transferring the vehicle for. So, for example, a taxi, you're transferring it to a new owner. The new owner will have to pay the 3% on it'll be 3% on top of the cost. So, and that's effective from 1st of February. So it's now into effect. And you only pay that at all LTA offices. And if you take an additional loan, you will have to pay another 1.75% stamp duty. It's a stamp duty. But we collect it at FRCA, whilst the 3% is being collected by LTA only on the transfer of vehicles. Yeah.
Now, have there been a lot of infringes with these businesses? Yes, have there been?
Yes, there's been issues raised, but like I said, we merely administer the law.
Okay.
What's in the law, that has to be followed. And this is what we administer. We have to tell them, we show them the respective legislations, because otherwise then we'll be held accountable. And those legislations are put in there for a purpose, and that is to help generate revenue for government, so that they can do the services to the community and help build a better, strong Fiji.
Just before we wrap up the show, is there anything else that you'd like to add on in terms of what else will be available and in terms of what are the main taxation issues that we haven't touched on so far?
Thank you, Petheli. This Saturday, we're urging everyone, the public, in the Suva Nausoro corridor, likewise from those in Navua, people from Naitasir, to come down and enjoy the facilities here at Rotuskura Park. We will be giving out the prizes, for children, and we say, we are humans just like you. Don't be afraid of us.
Yes.
And we try and assist you. And if you have issues in your with your tax affairs, come down. We will assist you. We will make arrangement time to pay. We might waive. Right now, we also have tax amnesty, where we will waive all any interest or penalties that have been charged to your account. Okay? Yeah, but these are accounts prior to 2015.
2015.
Yeah. So we will waive all the penalties. So but we need you to clear it up till June, and this is ending June. So it's a good time for you to come down. Come down, talk to us. Some people, they come there, they almost crying because they're saying, "Hey, why you put a garnish? Why you putting a hole on my bank account?" And we normally say, "We've given you time." This is a good time, Pedeli, for the public to come down, talk to us. Even the customs people will be there, displaying all those things that they have confiscated. Yeah, a lot of other things. We have the Ferris wheel there. It'll be all for free for children.
Okay.
They won't have to pay anything. So you come down and enjoy.
Thank you very much, Mr. Nao, for joining us today, and we'll definitely see you on Saturday at Sukuro Park in Suva.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And on that note, we wrap up this week's Speak Your Mind right here on Gold FM.
For 44 years,